what do you see as like the next trend in brewing? You know, like hazy IPAs became big, and cold IPA is a big thing right now. These kind of like dry. Like, do you see any new thing that is kind of on the horizon?
As far as what the next style is, I only wish I knew.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting into areas that are at the fringe of traditional brewing, but we still try to keep our traditional brewers' hat on. So we are producing non-alcoholic beers. We're actually packaging some today out in our new can-do facility. And it's something that I traveled to Europe a fair amount, and I'd go to Spain and Germany, and NAs were a big thing, and more than 10% of what people drank. And as the sensibility about alcohol started to become more prevalent in society, you go to lunch, with a German brewer, and they're not going to be drinking a 5 or 6% alcohol beer, 2 or 3 of them at lunch. It's it's frowned on and not really done so much anymore. But they will drink a 0.0, and a lot of the European beers, the 0.0 is really prominent on the label, so they can put it on their table and show, here, I'm a responsible person. I'm not drinking 3 beers at lunch. I'm having 0.0 beer at lunch. So I started seeing that, and I came back to our team and said, I think NAs are going to be a thing. This was probably starting, 7 or 8 years ago. And you look at the U.S. marketplace, and it's like, well, it's only less than 1% of what's sold in America. It's not going to be like it is in Europe anytime soon.
At the time, it was.
At the time, yeah. Well, and it still is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a little over 1%. It's still a very small segment of the U.S. market, but it's growing. It's the most rapidly growing segment. So I think, people who do enjoy beer, but for whatever reason, choose not to have alcohol, are looking for tasty, good alternatives, and so that's what we've been working on to produce flavorful NAs that are as reminiscent as a real beer as possible, and it's not easy. It's technologically challenging, and you do need to pasteurize those products. Could harbor pathogenic bacteria. Beer is quite safe. It's not totally safe, but it's quite safe from any pathogen growing in it. But once you get the alcohol out of it, and you still have some residual malt sugars for flavor and body, you've got food there for potentially microbes to grow on. So you have to be a lot more careful from a health concern with NA products. So we built this new facility that has got all the capability to do flash pasteurization, tunnel pasteurization, blending and batching, so we can do other fermented and non-fermented kinds of drinks, and we're just commissioning that facility.
That's the can-do facility you mentioned. Awesome. So that's what other kind of stuff is going to come out? So the NA, hop waters, things like that?
Yeah, we're doing hop waters, and hop waters are sort of in the same boat. You either need to be super careful on the micro side,
acidify it, things like that.
Yeah, pH has got to be right, and hops come out of fields, and they're exposed to all sorts of things in the environment. If you've been up to hop processing, hops are dried and loaded on a floor, and scooped around with forklifts, and so they're not really sterile in the scheme of things. So you can pick up all sorts of microbes. So you've got to be pretty careful to make sure that the product is clean, and all of our hop waters we send out for third-party analysis for any pathogenic bacteria. We do in-house micro on it, and having the can-do facility will allow us to do a light pasteurization step on that as well.